Hello everyone, you're watching Data Analytics Professionals and I'm Shahnaz Malik. Let's quickly jump into today's lecture topic. This is a lecture series on AWS and machine learning. Current topic of this lecture is going to be about AWS identity and access management, and we are going to look into users. This is lecture number 6 of this series. Now we all know how important it is to add security and organization for our daily tasks and resources we use. This is also important for AWS account and its resources. Remember, you can give access to your AWS account to specific users, identities that you create with custom permission or permissions. IAM helps to create and manage user identity and permissions to provide secure, limited access to your AWS resources, both for yourself and for others who need to work with your AWS resources. The identity aspect of AWS identity and access management helps you with the question, and that is, who is that user? Often referred to as authentication. Instead of sharing your root user credentials with others, you can create individual IAM users within your account that correspond to users in your organization. It's important to understand that IAM users are not separate accounts, but instead they are just users within your AWS account. Each user can have its own password for access to the AWS Management Console. You can also create an individual access key for each user so that the user can make programmatic requests to work with resources in your AWS account. Moreover, an IAM user doesn't have to represent an actual person. You can create an IAM user in order to generate an access key for an application that runs in your corporate network and needs AWS access. The best recommendation is that you create an IAM user for yourself and then assign yourself administrative permissions for your account. You can then sign in as that user to add more users as needed. Now, this was a short lecture, but it's important that you test your progress, and I suggest to take a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and pen down, write down everything you have learned from this and previous lectures about AWS services, especially about identity and access management, which is from AWS, also called as IAM, and particularly talk about user. Write down whatever you think a user can do within an AWS account as soon as it's created using IAM. Now, next topic of this lecture series is going to be about AWS identity and access management, and we're going to talk about groups. And once we create different users, we then create groups, and we put different users into different groups. For example, administrative level in users in one group, and developers could be in another group, and data analysts and data scientists and machine learning experts and so on. They could be different groups, and we can then assign policies to these groups, and then those policies will manage the access for users which are within the groups. We'll talk about all that in coming lectures. Just stay tuned, and I'm just letting you know what our plans and what I'm going to bring into next lecture. I am finishing, I think, the theoretical part, and I'm going to now soon jump into AWS account and show you practically how to do all these things. Now, before I end, I would like to ask you a question, and that's how do you rate this lecture and the presentation? And the scale is from 0 to 10, and the 10 is the best. And your feedback is extremely valuable to create contents that you like the most and that are meaningful for all of you guys. Well, that brings me to the end of the lecture, and just remember that data analytic professionals or DAP has internet and social media footprints, which shares its current and future plans with all of you. DAP space is commendable. So watch this presentation until end to connect with DAP through various platforms. You will get links and all kind of information what we are doing for all of you guys. Everything is, there are certain things which are already ready for you guys and certain things are under development. And if you are going to watch this lecture maybe after a month or 2 months, and maybe there is a lot happening, and more are going to come on those links and websites and blogs and so on. Now that is the studio time with me, and here I am in front of you. I hope that you like my lecture, and stay tuned and allow me to take a leave, but you watch this lecture until end. And until then, I see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.